KETV Newswatch 7, chronicling the stories impacting our community. Stories making a difference. Stories that matter to you. This is KETV Newswatch 7's Chronicle.
More kids are carrying around extra weight lately, and it's not just heavy backpacks. They're packing on the pounds before they even get into preschool. And now more people are trying to change that, but parents have to be on board. Good morning, I'm Melissa Fry, and welcome to KETV Newswatch 7's Chronicle. As many of us are about to make resolutions to be healthy next year, we're looking at the dangerous change in children's health. Child obesity in particular. It's on the rise at a staggering rate. 21% of 12 to 9-year-olds are obese, while 18% of 6 to 11-year-olds are obese, and those rates have more than quadrupled in the last 30 years for teens and more than doubled for young children. In Douglas County, the statistics are just as alarming. More than 30,000 children ages 5 to 17 are overweight in Douglas County. That could fill the CenturyLink Center and the Civic Auditorium. 1 in 3 children ages 2 to 5 are overweight or obese. Preschoolers who are obese are 5 times more likely to be obese as adults. They're also more likely to have heart disease, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, strokes, plus joint problems, sleep apnea, and poor self-esteem. Just in Douglas County, obesity-related medical costs are $273 million a year. Raising a child who's obese costs about an extra $50,000. But the cost isn't the concern, it's their condition. Joining us now to talk about childhood obesity is Dr. Susan Kiesling-Evans, family doctor with CHI Health. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Talking about childhood obesity and the rates, it's alarming.
It really is. Like you mentioned, the numbers, there's very high numbers of children with obesity, and also the fact then that it leads to very serious health conditions also. It's not just the weight that they've put on, it's also the risks as they are getting older and the risks while they're children.
And at such a young age, we're seeing them, before preschool.
Yeah, definitely. And, just looking at what are the types of foods that, children are eating these days, and, looking at overall lifestyle factors. There was a time when we really didn't have to think about that at that age. We didn't used to see type 2 diabetes in children at all, and now that's a real concern also.
And that's changed over the years. Can you compare, in the last 10, 15 years, how has childhood obesity changed?
Well, actually, in 2012 are the last statistics that we have, and it hasn't changed that much since they checked before, the 5 years before that. Certainly in the last generation it's changed a lot, but actually we've seen the last statistics showed a slight decrease in the levels of obesity in very young children. So that's good to see. That's the first time we've seen that in a while. For many years, it's just been a steady rise in both children and adults with levels of obesity.
And what are some of the biggest contributing factors?
I think a very large factor, well, some of the things that we know is watching more television increases the risk of obesity. And there's 3 reasons we think that might be the case. First, because they may be watching television or inside rather than being active. Second, there's a lot of advertisements, and there's some evidence that just watching that television, they're seeing advertisements for less healthy foods, and then also that they may be eating those unhealthy foods while they're watching television.
And what can parents do as, you try to demonstrate a healthy lifestyle, but, if kids are obese at a young age, they're at risk for some troubles down the road. But what can parents do?
Well, I think looking at it as a lifestyle, rather than looking at, putting one of your children on a diet or something along that line, looking at it as the whole family in the lifestyle, looking at increasing activity, maybe making a decision not to have any pop in the house. That could make a difference. Working on healthy diets, and also taking them in for their yearly wellness exams, getting things checked, you know, getting their weight checked, their height checked every year, and kind of figuring out where they're at and getting that advice too.
When you start the conversation, a lot of times you think, oh, it's kids, they want a cookie, they want a popsicle, it's sweets, kids love this. But when should you start talking to them about understanding the importance of a healthy lifestyle?
You know, I think it should start, you know, right at the very beginning. You know, all of these things make a big difference. The American Academy of Pediatricians this year came out with advice that you start reading to kids at birth. Well, if we're starting to read to kids at birth, really nutrition starts at birth too, and just making that, you know, how you introduce foods, making that a big part of it also.
And when do you start teaching them, you know, the importance of understanding that a healthy lifestyle is what you eat, how active you are, understanding how all of that works, not just because mom and dad say so, but because this is good for your body.
Right. You know, I think there the best thing you can do is modeling. I was just talking with a family last week, and you know, both parents are very active. The daughters are very active in sports, and they're in grade school yet. And I asked, you know, how did you start this? How did this come about? And their mom said that it was when she trained and did a half marathon. They brought the girls along to the finish line, and they just had a really neat experience, and since then is when they started running. So, you know, really being a role model even more than necessarily, you know, talking about things, also setting that example.
What would you suggest if you have a child who just doesn't want to be active? They look at this as a form of discipline, that they have to go out and play or have to do something. What's your advice for parents to make it fun if they're not interested?
Yeah, you know, that is tough, because I certainly have some patients where it just is not something they enjoy as a part of their personality. Maybe figuring out what they're uncomfortable with. Maybe they feel like they're not great at sports, so team sports makes them really nervous. But maybe getting a Wii Fit that they can do at home, that, you know, they might feel comfortable with that. And then also, it seems to really work well, like if the family gets membership to the YMCA and they go together. That seems to be helpful, like if it's something you can do as a family, as an activity, or maybe kids like being outside more and hiking, but that definitely can be a challenge.
Childhood obesity is something that everyone's aware of, and even on at a community level. Talk about what Omaha's doing and some of the different programs around. How can people get involved if they really want to take on this issue?
Nutrition would be a big one. Some of them that I was thinking about last week was some of the community gardens are actually donating produce. Also, it's my understanding that the SNAP cards, or what was food stamps, are accepted at many of the vendors at our farmers markets now. So those are some ways of, you know, having more access to fresh fruits and vegetables. Also, the Healthy Families program through CHI is a family-based program that teaches a lot of healthy lifestyles, things that can be helpful for a healthy lifestyle, and teaches to the whole family. Yeah, and, you know, just our parks and our pools, and, you know, many people support that. Throughout the city.
It can be really simple. You don't have to get a gym membership or spend a lot of money on something to get the family active. What's your best advice for parents? Maybe if they struggle with maintaining a healthy lifestyle, what would be your motivation to them, or a message to get their kids active?
You know, one thing I would say that's real important to realize is our recommendations on diet have really changed. It used to be the food pyramid with a lot of carbohydrates at the base, and that has really changed. So the goal is, like, if this is your plate, half of it is fruits and vegetables. So that's one place to start that's pretty simple. Another one you could do, especially like with younger kids, is talking with them about, can we eat a rainbow today? Help us to figure out, can we eat a rainbow? So trying to get, you know, fruits and vegetables that are red and orange and yellow and green and blue, you know, kind of finding some things where you can bring it to their level and make it fun. And then also not to be hard on yourself. You're not alone. You know, there is help out there, but also, you know, taking it one step at a time, and, you know, just giving yourself kudos for every little step that you take, because all of them make a really big difference. It's not rocket science, you know, it is just doing that healthy eating.
Simple things, and teaching them so then when they're off to daycare or school, hopefully they remember, you know, what they're supposed to eat and how much of it.
Well, and it also really seems that if they're moving towards eating healthier, that's what kids are going to crave too. So, you know, just making some of those changes at home might make it more likely that they will eat the fruits when they get to school.
All right, Dr. Evans, thank you so much for joining us and your advice. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, there are a number of ways that you can get moving this winter. There are groups with solutions to a busy but still healthy lifestyle. See what Live Well Omaha Kids is doing to get your family on the right path. And see one of the newer ways to burn a lot of calories a little quicker. It may have you jumping off the walls. You're watching KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle. It's never too early to get your kids on the path to a healthy lifestyle. Live Well Omaha Kids help these kids celebrate National Preschool Fitness Day at Tiny Town USA in La Vista. Toddlers get in on the fun. They're moving around, walking like ducks. The activities combine learning and exercise. National Preschool Fitness Day is January 31st, and that is just one of the many efforts to create healthy habits. Joining us now from Live Well Omaha Kids is Kelly Bucksine. Thank you so much for being here. And like we were talking to Dr. Evans about, it's a lifestyle, and it's just, you know, you leave home, you got to make sure that there's a community effort there and a support system no matter where they go.
Absolutely, and that's really what we're trying to do with Live Well Omaha Kids. So we are a partnership of over 40 organizations, schools, physicians, nonprofits that really have come together to figure out how can we support kids and families to practice healthy habits every day.
We were talking about this, you know, you grow up eating a certain way, and then you start, you know, hanging out with some different friends, and it's cool to eat Doritos for lunch and ice cream, and you can, because some kids are, you know, they burn it off so fast, and they don't realize that it can be creating some trouble down the road.
Yes, that's so true. And you know, we know it's easier to learn healthy habits at a young age, and it's much harder to change those unhealthy habits as adults. I think we all have probably examples in our own lives that we wish were different. So we really want to make sure that we're helping kids learn those habits early and making sure that we're really setting a foundation for success. So right now they're in school, they need to be ready to learn, they need to have that physical activity so their brains are working and they're energized, they've got a full belly of good nutritious foods so that they can really soak up all this great education that we're providing them. And then also, which Dr. Evans spoke about, is preventing that chronic disease and the illnesses that unfortunately come along with unhealthy habits. So we really want to make sure we start early and that we help shift that culture so that everywhere kids are, where they live, where they learn, where they play, that they've got those healthy environments that are supporting healthy habits, and that they can really be successful in making those healthy choices.
You guys have a lot of partnerships, a lot of different activities, ways that you get involved. Talk about some of those partnerships and some of the more creative ways to get kids healthy.
Sure. Well, one of the biggest messages that we try to reinforce with families is cooking and eating together at home as a family. So we actually have a family dining pledge. It's online, but it also lives throughout the community. So in this past October, the YMCA was promoting the Family Dining Pledge. The Visiting Nurses Association has a great program called Cooking Matters, where they actually teach families how to cook healthy, how to, they actually do grocery store tours, so families families can learn how to read food labels, how to meal plan on a budget. They promote that kind of cooking and eating together message as well. So that's an example of a message that really lives throughout our community. Another really fun one is 5-4-3-2-1-GO, which is a really healthy, easy, fun message that families can remember of what they should be doing every day. 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, 4 servings of water, 3 servings of low-fat dairy, 2 hours or less of screen time. I know Dr. Evans talked a bit about that, and that, you know, key piece on screen time, and then 1 hour or more of physical activity. And so we have schools using that message, and child care programs, and medical providers, and can really get some good support for families around those healthy habits.
And how important is it that, you know, teachers, daycare providers, everybody kind of stay on point with the same message so that it's not, okay, well, we're all following this, and then we go here and they let us have a bunch of, you know, cookies and ice cream and everything like that.
Right. Yeah, it's setting that healthy environment, and role modeling is so key, not only for parents, but for all those caregivers. Kids learn by watching and imitating and practicing, and so we want to make sure that we're being good role models for that. We don't have to be perfect, but we need to try new healthy things. We need to be willing to try that. We need to be willing to get on the ground and play with kids and show them how to do that, and really make sure that we're partners with those kids and those healthy habits also.
What are some of the conversations you would have maybe with a 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 15-year-old about what they're eating and why?
Yeah, I think it's starting that message early and reinforcing how food fuels our body. And it's not just, what tastes great, but how to make things taste great and be healthy for us. And getting kids involved in cooking is a great way to get them excited about healthy eating. Having kids pick out a fun new fruit or vegetable resolutions we're going to be talking about for families. Adventure every week to just get used to trying new things. You may not like it, but that's okay, you tried it. And setting that kind of standard for that healthy lifestyle. So I think it's just really weaving it into our daily habits that we want to make healthy choices, and we want to make sure, hey, I'm not offering you an apple versus a bag of chips, because you're probably going to pick the bag of chips.
Yeah.
Most of us probably would, unfortunately. Yeah. But it's an apple versus an orange.
Yeah.
And so it's still a choice, and we want kids to be empowered to make healthy choices. We just have to offer them.
Mm-hmm. What's one of the bigger challenges that you see, either parents or daycare providers or teachers or someone in the community? What are some of the challenges that they face with getting kids to that goal?
Yeah, it's time. We're really busy. There's a lot going on, a lot of great things going on, and so it's a matter of figuring out how to make it a priority and fit it into your daily routine. And so, for example, with physical activity, small changes make a big difference. We've probably all heard this, but park farther away from the entrance to the building. Take the stairs. I saw this great poster the other day. In big letters from far away, it said, "Want a free, easy way to be fit?" And I thought, well, yeah. So I went and looked at the poster, and in tiny letters it said, "Take the stairs," and I kind of chuckled and said, okay, and then I took the stairs, which is great. So, small changes are really do make a difference. 10 minutes of physical activity at a time is wonderful, as long as you're getting that periodically throughout the day. And so really figuring out what works for each family is going to be a little bit different, but that's really our goal at Live Well Omaha Kids, is to provide a lot of information from experts around the community and give those tips and recipes and announcements about events and whatnot. And we want to engage with families too, because they're experts on what's going to work for their family. So tell us about their stories and share with other families.
You say 10 minutes of physical activity. It's not like you're telling them to do push-ups and sit-ups. So what are some of the creative ways that you've found families getting their kids healthy?
So one really fun resource that we've been teaching families is called Green Fitness. And it's about using recyclable materials to create really fun play equipment. So milk jugs, coffee cans, pantyhose. It's free materials, and not only is it a great craft for kids, but then they get to play with it afterwards. So that's a really fun piece that we've been sharing with families lately. And kids love competition and challenges, especially if the adults are involved. They love to see adults playing those kid games. So setting up where kids can be having fun, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a winner, but create that kind of competition and challenge is a great way to get kids excited.
Wouldn't it be great to make them excited about who can fold the laundry and put it away the fastest, right?
Yep. You have to take one piece at a time to the dresser. There you go.
Kelly Buckstein, thank you so much for joining us. Your advice is always appreciated. My pleasure. Well, there's still more to come, including an indoor option to get the whole family moving and jumping toward a healthier lifestyle. First, a reminder, your comments are an important part of this show. If you want to be heard, there are 2 ways you can do that. You can call directly, 402-978-8960. Remember to speak clearly. We may use your comments on air. Also, try to be brief. You can also email comments. Go to KETV.com and click on the Chronicle link. Remember, we'd love to hear from you. We'll be right back. We know it can be really tough to find the motivation to exercise and get moving, especially on cold winter days, but there's an option to get the entire family to burn a few calories and have a lot of fun in the meantime. Joining us now is Susan Nelson from Defy Gravity. It's an indoor trampoline park. This sounds like a blast.
It's a blast. It's a really
Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we're indoor trampoline park, also known as interactive fun park, because we're a fun park that has a lot of interactive activities. What we're promoting specifically talking about childhood obesity and really talking about our fitness classes. So we offer a unique blend of cardio, strength, core, and resistance training on trampolines.
Wow.
So it takes your average workout and it makes it that much more exciting. So it's a great program, great activity for.
I'm sure you have a lot of adults that don't remember the last time they jumped on a trampoline.
That is common. That's
Yeah.
a common statement. They'll be kind of walking onto a trampoline and a little unstable, but they pick it up really quick.
Wow. And so a lot of classes, is it for all ages?
It is generally about 15 years old, 16 years old, and anywhere up. We have guests that are in their 60s and 70s. So,
wow.
Yes, so all ages. You know, you go at your own pace and push yourself. We have sand bells for our strength portion, and you can take anywhere from a 6-pound sand bell up to a 30-pound sand bell. So instead of the weights and the barbells, we've got these great sand bells. So. Yeah, it's really neat.
You think you jump on a trampoline is pretty easy, you just bounce, but trying to keep yourself centered or...
Yes, it's the balance and the stamina. So
nice.
That's what sets us apart from some of the other classes, different types of group activities. You know, we're doing everything that you would do on the floor, but we're doing it on a trampoline. So you've got your core engaged the whole time.
Wow. Tell me about how it burns calories. You're working your core, obviously, but...
So
yeah, tell me a typical workout. What's that like?
So it's up to 1,000 calories an hour.
Whoa.
So where it takes maybe, 30 minutes of running, you can burn in 10 minutes on the trampoline.
Really?
So, yeah. So we've got our warm-up portion, then we do circuit-based training. So we start with some cardio, we go into some strength, do a lot of core. You know, the whole entire time you're on that trampoline, you've got your core engaged. So you're using your core the whole time. You don't need to do 1,000 push-ups. You've got to engage the whole time.
What about people with injury or joint pain, anything like that?
The great thing about it is the way that the structure is. It's a dual-layer trampoline, and it reduces the joint impact significantly. So we have people that have had hip surgeries and knee surgeries, with clearance from their doctors. They've joined our program, and they find it, really easy to do, and they push themselves as hard as they can. So
probably doesn't even feel like a workout. You're probably just having fun and you're laughing.
Yes.
That's another core workout, right?
Yeah. Yes. And we say that if you fall and you're laughing, that's all right. You're burning calories. So.
And why is this good for kids? I know you said mostly some adults and teens, but even for kids.
So with our fitness program, we offer a kids jump camp. So while the parents are working out, the family's working out, mom and dad are working out, maybe older siblings, the kids can jump on the other side of our court.
Nice.
So they're seeing mom and dad do it. They're seeing maybe big brother, big sister do it, setting that example. They're seeing their family stay active. They're coming, they're jumping, they're shooting hoops. We have quarterback challenge. So, they're running around and they're having that play while the parents are working out. So
it kind of ties it back into, the issues with childhood obesity.
Yes.
They need to see a good role model.
Yes.
Mom and dad's working out. They're having fun. They're laughing. Kids like to jump on trampoline. Kind of ties it all into, why it's important to be active.
And we've actually had some of our members say we have a class on Sunday evening. I had a member tell me, I really didn't want to come today. I have laundry, I need to do the dishes, but I told my daughter this morning that, I was going to work out. She held me to it. So they showed up for class on a Sunday night. Otherwise, it's now the children pushing the parent to go work out, which is great.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
Susan Nelson, thank you so much for joining us. This sounds
Thanks
like a blast.
for
I really
having.
want to go try it out.
Yeah, please.
Where are you guys
Come check it
located
out.
at again?
108th and Giles, and 108th and Portal Road over in La Vista.
All right. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Well, this morning we've looked at the growing troubles of childhood obesity and some of the options you have to stay healthy. We've linked all the resources that we've mentioned here today on KETV.com. Thank you for joining us for this morning's edition of KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle. We hope you have a very happy new year. We'll see you right back here next Sunday at 10 a.m.